Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Minh from Vietnam National University of Hanoi. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer for inviting me to this very big and important conference for me. My topic is about the new position of India in the new context, the new free and open Indo-Pacific region. Instead of going deeply in details of the trade relationship between ASEAN and India in the region as whole, I try to make my analysis about the change and challenges of the India in the new context. My main argument is that the free and open Indo-Pacific region created big chance for India on the one side, but on the other side, it also brings big challenges for it. So my presentation consists of 4 points. Number one, I briefly describe the new security structure of US in Indo-Pacific region. The second point is about the strength of India in the Indo-Pacific region. But the most important point of mine is about the India soft power and its limitation. Here is a small critical point of view on India soft power, and I would like to learn about the point of view of Indian expert here in the hall, and by the end, some concluding remarks. Number one, the US new security structure. This question was discussed thoroughly in the previous session. That's why I don't go in deep in detail about this. But here is still a debate about the frame of the so-called new and free and open Indo-Pacific region. Depending on the position of the expert and the country. But by the end, I think the term of Indo-Pacific region serves for 4 objectives. Number one, to avoid the feeling of direct confrontation with China. Number two, to revive the US, Japan, India, and Australia strategic alliances, or the so-called the Diamond Quad. Number three, to accentuate the regional role of America and India. And last but not least, to inform that maritime freedom is central to regional security. That is enough for the first point. The second, the strength of India in the Indo-Pacific region. Here there are some points I approach from historical, economical, and military and other cultural perspective. Historically, in Southeast Asia and in Vietnam, it is very well known that India served to be the owner of Green Revolution, White Revolution, Yellow Revolution in agriculture, and today to the so-called Grey Revolution. Economically, it is very impressed that India during the last 5-6 years made very high average growth of over 9% a year, except the crisis year 2008 and 2009. And it belongs to the top 10 of the largest economy of the world. Militarily, it's increasing. It is the common trend in the region. From 33 billion US dollar in 2012 to 51 billion US dollar in 2016, and it remains also very high regular forces with about 1.3 millions forces, and it is number 3 behind US and China and the US. So educationally, it's also very important that India, together with the US and China, receive big number of students, international, coming from different countries, and it makes around 10,000 students a year. And there is 251 universities. Some of them belong to the high-ranking position of the world ranking of the universities. With ASEAN and with other big power, India remains very close relationship in multilateral mechanism of ASEAN like ARF or EAS or ADMM plus, etc. And with US, with China, the same situation with Japan also, where India consider it one of the core partners. So the next point is about India's soft power and its limitation. For the whole world, India belongs to one of the first 6 civilizations, and it created the values. Such kind of values are very popular among countries in the region, but beyond the region. It is the Buddhism, it is the so-called Sanskrit or architecture. In the past, it is the so-called ancient and medieval period. In the modern period, India became very popular and well-known with its non-violence foreign policy, and the honor is Gandhi. And since 1990, India to present, India, there was very widespread of the idea that India is the power of the so-called soft power. Buddhism is one of the instruments, and long tradition of philosophy and religion. And here is not only culture combined with economics interest. So the Bollywood was mentioned before by some speaker, and yoga, for example, at this moment is very well known by many countries in Asia. In the 21st century, there are some suggestions by Prime Minister Modi about the success of Indian culture like Buddhism or like yoga. Science and technology is also one strength of Indian soft power. And but it is a strength, no doubt, no dispute about the strength of Indian as one power. But I realize there are some limitations. But the question is why? Even India owns very big soft power, but it cannot compete in the region, for example, with China, with Japan, and especially with South Korea. South Korea is one good example of the successfully using of soft power. The Korean wave, for example, the Hallyu is so popular among young people in Southeast Asia. So there is the limitation. I think there are 3 points should be mentioned. India used her soft power capacity mainly for image building rather than as an instrument to exert influence. And the second, in contrast to the US and EU and China, Indian foreign policy makers do not perceive their own political model as an attraction for others. It is regarded as an asset that is promoted to increase India's attractiveness for foreign investors. And last but not least, I think this is a problem, internal and external problem of Indian policy, how to strike a balance between national interest and on the one hand and political norm on the and value on the other hand. My conclusion is India is free and open in the Indian Pacific region became very important for India. It's good chance, but combined with big challenges. The problem here is for India how to use its soft power for the new position. Thank you.